Hi everyone, this is Jean-Marc. My presentation is on Transport Layer Security 1.3. So what is Transport Layer Security? TLS for short. It is the successor to the widely known Socket Security Layer Encryption Protocol. It was released in 1999 and standardized by the Internet Engineering Task Force. What SSL and TLS for short does is that it secures data communications between the browser and destination server so that hackers cannot read the traffic. And by doing so, spy on users or steal valuable information such as login credentials and credit card numbers. TLS is widely used for online communications and transactions, not only through web browsers, but for instant messaging, email applications, and voice over IP. The TLS protocol specifications are divided on two layers, which are the record and handshake. The TLS record protocol provides connection security, and the handshake protocol enables the client and the server to authenticate each other and to negotiate security keys before any data is transmitted. One thing about the TLS handshake is that it's a multi-step process. Be it a basic TLS handshake involves the client and the server sending hello messages and the exchange of keys, cipher message, and a finish message. The multi-step process is what makes TLS flexible enough to be used in different applications because the format and order of exchange can be modified. Currently, TLS 1.2 is the most defined version of the protocol in our browsers today and has been so for several years. It had helped establish a host of new encryption options for communication. However, like from some previous versions of the protocol, it also allowed older encryption techniques to be used in order to support older computers. Unfortunately, that opened up to a host of vulnerabilities as those older techniques have become vulnerable as time had passed, and computer power had become more cheaper. An issue with TLS 1.2 is that it became increasingly vulnerable to man in the middle attacks, in which a hacker intercepts packets in mid communication and sends them on after reading and altering them. Many of these problems have arisen in the last 2 years, which increased the sense of urgency for updating the protocol to version 1.3. As of August of this year, the Internet Engineering Task Force had published version 1.3, which is more efficient and more secure than SSL, as it has a more stronger message authentication, key material generation, and other encryption algorithms. It supports pre-shared key and remote passwords as well as backwards compatibility for all the devices. One thing version 1.3 also makes is it processes the handshake faster by speeding up the encryption process. This has been a security benefit, but it should also improve performance of secure web applications. With TLS 1.2 in the past, the handshake process involved several round trips. With 1.3, only one trip is required, which in turn cuts the encryption latency in half. Right now, the makers of the four major browsers, Apple, Google, Microsoft, and Mozilla, have reported that there will be drop in support for version 1.1 and 1.2 in early 2020. The new protocol hasn't been without its controversy, though. The streamlined communication makes it impossible for banks to decrypt and monitor TLS communications, and financial security advisors have requested that the inclusion of a backdoor and version 1.3 would allow them to continue monitoring TLS traffic. But that was rejected in the final version of the approval, with Internet Engineering Task Force members saying that a backdoor would eliminate the advantages of version 1.3 to be possible. So that ends my presentation. Questions for you. Do you think that TLS is a short or long term solution for internet transactions? Also, what challenges would TLS 1.3 encounter for companies that use network security based solutions? And lastly, should we keep supporting older protocols such as TLS 1.1 and 1.0 and 1.1, for instance, when they become obsolete or potentially insecure? Thanks, and hope you enjoy the presentation.